Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Recently Games Workshop announced 3 different combat patrols, one for the Black Templars, one for the Space Wolves and one for the Tyranids. The Black Templars, they are my favorite faction in game and in the lore, so I already made a video talking about that combat patrol. In case you're interested, I will leave the link in the description. But I don't know, I felt like I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Space Wolves and Tyranids. So today I would like to share my first impressions and opinion about the new Space Wolves combat patrol and the new Tyranids combat patrol. And obviously this is just my opinion, so of course I invite you to let me know in the comments what you think about these combat patrols. Okay, so we're going to start with the Space Wolves, and before I go any further, let's check the contents of this combat patrol. If we get this box, we're going to get a unit of 5 Wolfguard Terminators, and I want to say already that I love these miniatures. I think that they look awesome, and probably they are my favorite Terminators in game right now in terms of the design of them. So yes, they look awesome, and I'm happy that they are part of this combat patrol. Let's continue. Then we're getting a unit of 10 Bloodclaws, another nice Space Wolves unit. This one is a very basic battle line one, so it's also nice to have it as part of the combat patrol. We're also getting a unit of 5 Wolfen, and leading this combat patrol we have a battle leader. I want to say right away that I like a lot this combat patrol. I'm very happy with what they did with this combat patrol overall, especially because every single miniature inside of this box it's a unique miniature specific for the Space Wolves. There's not a single generic Space Marine in this combat patrol. This is a pure Space Wolves combat patrol. On top of that, let's not forget that the Bloodclaws, the Battle Leader and the Wolfguard Terminator, they are all brand new miniatures. So we have a combat patrol that is unique for the Space Wolves, and 3 of the 4 units that we have inside of this combat patrol, they are brand new miniatures. And because of all of that, I feel like I cannot complain about this combat patrol, and my first impressions and my opinion is very positive about this combat patrol. Like, what else can I ask for a combat patrol? I don't know, I look at this combat patrol and it's like, this is a Space Wolves combat patrol. And then we have very nice miniatures there, or at least I consider that. We have Battle Leader. By itself, it looks awesome, super cool, super into the Space Wolves, let's say, vibe. So I like a lot how it looks there. And on top of that, it's a nice miniature because we have like a different weapon options for it. So that's always a plus. This is something that I repeat a lot, and I will repeat it again, and is that I will always compliment generic characters that give us a lot of different options, and in this case we have different weapons, different heads, so I'm happy to see this kind of character inside of the combat patrol. Then we have the Bloodclaws, a basic battle line unit of the Space Wolves. They look great, they are also new. The sergeant of the unit looks great with that claw and the plasma pistol, but it's not only that. They have super nice heads without helmet, the poses are great. I like a lot this unit as well. It's also very nice to have a nice battle line unit as part of the combat patrol, especially because it's okay to have more than one. Then we have the Wolfguard Terminators. I love them, I simply love them. I think that they are awesome, they are great. At some point I'm going to get those Wolfguard Terminators just because they are great. I mean, those are the type of miniatures that you just want to have and to assemble and paint, because as I said, they look awesome. Especially like the leader, because that axe with the wolf skin on top, it's like, it's awesome. It's really good. And it's not only that, it's also like they have nice options. We can have them with shields and power weapons, or the power weapon plus the sword bolter, so they are also giving us nice options. And the heads without helmets are perfect, so I'm super happy to see those 3 units as part of the combat patrol, because they look awesome, they are great, and also they are brand new. Finally, we need to talk about the Wolfen, that out of personal preference of mine, they are my least favorite part of this combat patrol. I don't like them that much, I have to say. I mean, of course, if you like them, I can understand. I don't think that they look bad or anything, or I'm not complaining about them. It's just that when I look at them and I compare them with the brand new miniatures next to them, they feel a little bit outdated to me. Especially in terms of the poses and how they look, or the design of the weapons, or I don't know, the heads by itself. It's like, okay, they feel a little outdated if we compare it with them with the new miniatures. But it makes sense because Games Workshop have been improving a lot in the miniatures that they have been producing, so it makes sense that if we compare the newest ones with the older ones, there's going to be a difference, right? Also, this box is great for new players that want to start a Space Wolves army, but for the veterans it's not that tempting, I will say, because probably they have like a lot of Wolfen already. So by looking at this combat patrol, it's like, okay, we have 3 brand new units, but then we have 1 quite old. So yeah, it could be a little bit more better for everyone, but of course there's no perfection in this life. To finish with the Space Wolves Combat Patrol, I just want to say something that I said previously with the Black Templars Combat Patrol, and is that the most important part of a Combat Patrol is the discount. So of course it's better to get all the miniatures inside of this Combat Patrol rather than buying them individually. But it is important for us to like or want to have all the miniatures inside of this box, because if we buy miniatures that we don't want at a discounted price, are we really saving money? And with all of that being said, again, let me know in the comments what you think about the new Space Wolves Combat Patrol. No more Space Wolves for today. Now I would like to talk about the new Tyranid Combat Patrol. And again, let's start with the contents. If we buy this Combat Patrol, we are going to get a unit of 10 Gene Stealers. We are going to get a unit of 3 Tyrant Guard. We're also getting a Biobor, and as a character we are getting the Parasite of Mortrex. Personally, I'm not going to hate this Combat Patrol. I know that some people didn't like it that much, but I like it because for everyone that started collecting Tyranids in 10th edition of Warhammer 40k, like me with the Leviathan box, then this Combat Patrol is perfect because it's a perfect complement for it. Everything here is not part of the Leviathan box, so this is a very nice addition. If I have to talk about the Combat Patrol by itself, it feels weird. Like the selection of units is weird. We have Gene Stealers, but nothing to lead those Gene Stealers. We have Tyrant Guard, but we don't have a Tyrant. So I don't know, it feels kinda like a weird selection of miniatures. But still, I don't think that it's that bad, because let's talk about them individually. We have the Biobor. Biobor, it's super important. I mean, I think that everyone wants to have a Biobor, so having one in the Combat Patrol, it's awesome. The miniature by itself, it's almost new. It came out this same edition of Warhammer 40k, so it's a very nice addition. It's super good to have one of those in the Combat Patrol. Then we have a unit of 10 Gene Stealers. Again, almost brand new miniatures. They came out this same edition of Warhammer 40k, so they're super recent. They look great, the poses are fantastic, they have like very nice options. I don't know, I like a lot how the new Gene Stealers looks, and I think that it's a very nice addition for the Combat Patrol as well. I think that they look nice there, and I cannot complain about the Gene Stealers being part of a Combat Patrol. Let's talk now about the Tyrant Guard without a Tyrant, and by itself, this unit is very expensive, I will say. They are pricey. And having them at a discounted price as part of a Combat Patrol feels good to me, to be honest. I'm not going to complain about them being there because, as I said, they are expensive. So even if they are not that new compared with the rest of the miniatures inside of this box, I feel like they don't feel outdated at all. The sculpt feels like it fits perfectly within the range of the Tyranids right now. So I don't know, having this type of expensive unit inside of a Combat Patrol, I think it's okay. I would like to add that I forgot to mention that the Tyrant Guard can be also assembled as the Hive Guard, and then the Biobor can be assembled as a Pyrobor. So that adds a little bit more of variety to this box and makes it a little bit more fun. As a character, we have the Parasite of Mortrex. Unusual choice of a character for a Combat Patrol, but I want to say that the miniature by itself looks very, very good. It's a super cool looking Tyranid, and it's also a quite recent miniature. I think it came out in the 9th edition of Warhammer 40k. I saw some people complaining about the size of the Parasite of Mortrex in this image, saying that it's not that big. I don't know, the miniature by itself feels quite big to me. Like, for example, here we have the Parasite of Mortrex, and here we have Robot Gilliman Primarch of the Ultramarines. If we compare them, I think that the Parasite feels quite big. Do you know what I think about when I look at this combat patrol? That instead of thinking about Warhammer 40k and the game when they made this combat patrol, they were thinking about combat patrol games and try to make the Tyranids more competitive there, because I think that at some point they are going to really focus into combat patrol and try to make it like a very good thing for everyone. But for now it's not that good as, for example, Spearhead in Age of Sigmar. So when I look at this combat patrol, it's like, okay, if I think about a combat patrol game, I can see the important elements. We have the bio board that I guess that is supposed to be on the back holding the home objective and shooting against the enemy, so that's very good. Then we're going to have the Tyrant Guard, that there's no Tyrant, but still they are a very difficult unit to deal with. They can tank a lot of damage, so they can be very important if we like put them to hold some objective in the middle or something like that. And then we have the Gene Stealers, a very aggressive unit that it's going to be able to deal damage against the enemies. So we have that, and then we have the Parasite of Mortrex. It's a lone operative, it's quite fast, so it's going to be able to move freely and attack when it wants to attack. It can be able to do whatever he wants to do. So I don't know, I feel like maybe this combat patrol, it needs to be more focused into the combat patrol games rather than the actual 40k, but still it's a nice variety of units in terms of if we want to get this unit, it's perfect to add them to any army. So I don't want to complain about this combat patrol, especially because I feel like, okay, these are nice units to add to a Tyranid army. I have seen worse combat patrols for sure, so I don't want to complain about this one. Again, let me know what you think about this one, because as I said, I started collecting Tyranids with the Leviathan box. I still have to finish that box, but maybe after I finish, one day, who knows when, well, maybe after I finish, this box is not available anymore, so you can let me know in the comments what you think about this one. But yeah, I like this one too. As I said, I don't want to complain, because I don't know, I like the selection of miniatures actually, even if they don't suit each other too much. They are nice miniatures. Now I'm going to repeat something that I said previously. The most important part of a combat patrol is a discount. This is cheaper to buy a combat patrol rather than buying each unit individually. So remember, if we buy miniatures that we don't want just because they are discounted, I will really save money. And this is it. Those are my thoughts and first impressions about these combat patrols. I like them. I think that Games Workshop is doing a great job with the recent combat patrols that they have been releasing. It's just my opinion. I know that there was a lot of people complaining about the Tyranid one, or at least I saw people complaining about it, but I cannot judge. Maybe I love a combat patrol and I like it a lot because it will suit my actual collection, but some people of course won't like it, and I have to respect that, because of course we need to get the miniatures that we want and like, and I know that it's a combat patrol, there's only one character plus 3 units, so it's impossible to make everyone happy, but I don't know, I wanted to be positive about it. As always, I would like to remind you that if you like what I do and you would like to support my work, I invite you to check the link to my Patreon in the description. And with all of that being said, this is it, this is the end of the video. So of course, as usual, if you are still here, please consider giving me a like and subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.